Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 119 of Cameron Sports Podcast. It's your host here, Cameron Lindsay, and I'm back with a brand new episode. Today's episode, I'm going to be talking some high school football, some latest news going around the country, and a couple games, especially the game of the week that everybody who watches high school football nationally is looking forward to between Mater DEI and Bishop Gorman, two top 10 powerhouse high schools in the nation. Bishop Gorman in Las Vegas, Nevada, Mater DEI in California. It's going to be a big matchup. We're going to get into that towards the end of the show. But let's get right into some news that's regarding Mater DEI. So Mater DEI was ranked as the number one team in the country. They're the reigning national champions. They finished number one ranked nationally in Max Preps rankings. Went undefeated. But, this last week they played 21 ranked Corona Centennial, one of the top 25 high school nationally, high school in California. Sorry if I pronounced their school name wrong. But Corona is now ranked 7th in Max Preps rankings, and that's because they defeated Mater DEI 43-36, a huge upset. I was shocked when I seen that. Shocked, but also after I thought about it a little bit, I was like, you know what? I could see it happen. I could have saw it happening a little bit because Mater DEI, the past few games, they kind of took their opponents a little bit lightly. I remember they played St. Thomas Aquinas on ESPN, and St. Thomas Aquinas is also a top 25 high school nationally, and they're in Florida. And they was up at halftime like 20-something to I think 20-something to nothing or 3. Something like that. And St. Thomas came all the way back to make it a game, but fell short by a couple points, 3 points from coming back and winning that game against Mater DEI. So they could have almost lost that game right there. And like I said, one thing that really shocked me was Corona was up 33 to 7 at halftime. They was dominating Mater. I know the score says it's close, but in reality, it wasn't as close as the score says. Corona was up 36 to 7 at halftime. Mater DEI came back, took the lead at the end of the third quarter, but in overtime, Corona came up with the win over Mater DEI with a huge upset. And yeah, that definitely shocked me, and I'm definitely gonna go back and watch that game because it really intrigues me. But Mater DEI's last couple games, the more I think about it, I had time to think, and I'm like, you know what, I could have saw it coming. Yeah, they got a lot of talent on their roster. The quarterback's Minnesota commit. They got Cade Dixon Wyatt, Ohio State commit, 4-star receiver. They got another receiver that's a Georgia commit. They got the number one receiver in the 2026 class, Chris Henry Jr., who's a 5-star, top 5 player, committed to Ohio State. And they got elite defensive lineman, big, D lineman committed to Washington, Oregon, USC. But they, took their opponents lightly. Now, hopefully they bounce back from this loss, but they don't got it easy going against Bishop Gorman, because Bishop Gorman is a powerhouse in their own right. But yeah, that's definitely one of the biggest upsets I've seen in a while. And I think it was last year or the year before when IMG got upset on the road by a school, one of the top schools in the nation that's in Utah. Canyon, I forgot what they call it, something Canyon. They got upset. That was huge right there. But this is definitely one of the biggest ones that I've get dominated. A number one team nationally get dominated like Mater DEI did. I was shocked. But yeah, I said, we'll see as far as Bishop Gorman, they'll bounce back. I think it'll be a good game. Like I said, these teams played last year. Mater DEI won that game 21-7, I believe. Something like that. They pretty much dominated Bishop Gorman, but I think this time around it's gonna be different. But yeah, some other news in high school going around the high school country. One of the top ranked quarterback in the 2026 class, Bell, who plays for American Heritage High School in Florida, one of the top ranked high schools in the nation. He's a Texas commit, 2026 class, 5-star. Dia won the Elite 11 Finals MVP. The Elite 11 is a camp where the top quarterbacks in the nation in each class go to. They compete, show off their arm strength, go through drills, and Dia was named MVP. It's like it's a 2-3 day camp. The best quarterbacks in each class in the nation come and showcase their talent. But he's out for the season. He announced on social media that he's having a minor procedure that needs to be had. This really sucks. I really hate to see this for Dia because he's a really, really great quarterback. He, has great size. He's 6'2", 6'3", about 220 pounds. Great arm, great athlete, especially with his legs. Also, he's underrated with his legs. So if you think he can't run with his legs, you're really wrong about that. And last year, his junior season, he threw over 2,900 yards. He had 29 touchdown passes and only like 5-6 interceptions. So he was named Florida Gatorade Player of the Year. But his season last year, his junior season came to an early end, right around the playoffs started. So he wasn't able to help his team during the playoffs. So I know that sucked. I knew he was looking forward to bounce back from his junior season, getting hurt, going into his senior year. American Heritage, their first game of the season against St. Joseph Prep, another top 25 national school in Pennsylvania. Nationally, that's in Pennsylvania. They was down 28-0. Dia led them all the way back to beat St. Joseph Prep. And I'm thinking like, okay, American Heritage, Dia's not playing. This is senior year. He is not playing around. He's looking forward to, putting American Heritage back on the map where they belong, lead his school to another state championship. He's already off to a good start. And, I thought it was going to win. I think probably injury happened. I don't know if the injury happened during the game. I think if it was a game, it probably could have happened against Shawnee Madonna when they lost that game. But it sucks that, that he's out again, and I feel for him, especially when I was in high school getting hurt, or, I feel for that team. But, because I know he wanted to go out with a bang, and that sucks because, he can't be out there with his brothers, his friends that he grew up playing for the past 4 or 5 years in varsity football. And, American Heritage definitely, took an impact with that because now they lost 2 straight games in a row. They lost 28-24 to Shawnee Madonna. That was a really good game right there. I picked American. If you watched my episode when I talked about Shawnee Madonna and American Heritage, I picked American Heritage. I thought it was gonna be a close one, but Shawnee Madonna won the game. Their freshman quarterback balled out. He led a long game-winning drive to 3-star receiver J Rock, known as Jason Lopez. He's a Florida State commit, and who's going to be playing basketball and football at Florida State. But they call him J Rock. But they led a game-winning drive, beat American Heritage. I was like, wow, that very impressive, especially by a freshman quarterback doing that. But now it's not all bad for American Heritage. They did get lucky. Quarterback Leon Strawder transferred mid-early from Miami Northwestern High School to American Heritage after Dia was ruled out for the season. And I didn't know that players can do that, can transfer mid-season and play at the same time. I did not know that. And he, like I said, again, for those, Leon Strawder, for those who don't know who he is outside of the Florida, Miami area, he won a state championship for Miami Northwestern last year with Teddy Bridgewater. Those who know who Teddy Bridgewater is, he's NFL quarterback, played for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He was the high school coach for his alma mater, Miami Northwestern, last year and before this season started. But due to some personal reasons and conflicts with the school, he's not there anymore. Nothing bad, he just tried to help the players out, taking them home, feeding them, Ubers, Lyfts, and he was suspended. And instead of going somewhere else, he just decided to go back to the NFL. So I know that sucks, but he won a state championship with Miami Northwestern. But I get why he left, because Miami Northwestern has a young sophomore quarterback who's a phenom who killed it in OT7 all offseason. So I could tell he's the guy now. I think they was running a 2 quarterback system, but I think Leon probably saw this as an opportunity to where, okay, he could really show his skills to scouts, colleges, because now that Diabell's out, he could be the guy at American Heritage and show what he has. So I hope American Heritage can turn the season around. They're 1-2 right now. It's early in the season. So I hope to see them turn it around. I don't know if they'll get back into the Max Preps top 25 rankings, but they have a lot of talented players, especially the wide receiver, Troy Commit. Like I said, he's a very, very good player. And, I hate to see, him go out like that because I know him and Diabell had a really, really good connection. But, yeah, that American Heritage, I hope they bounce back. Like I said, I know it won't be easy. Like I said, losing your best player, your star quarterback out for the season. But I hope, I just want to say, hope you get better. Hope you recover. Can't wait to see you at Texas. Even though, like I said, maybe have to sit out a year. I don't know. Well, that's not an ACL injury. Maybe if Arch comes back, I know Diabell won't have no problem doing that. But I can't wait to see him kill it at Texas. See him in the spring, hopefully, if he's healthy by spring football next year. But yeah, I think he has a bright future ahead of him after Arch Manning leaves Texas. Another high school news: St. John Bosco, due to the fact that Mater DEI lost to Corona Centennial, they're now the new ranked number 1 high school team in the nation according to Max Preps. Now they were ranked number 2. Now the number 1 ranked school, St. John Bosco, is 4-0 right now. Like I said, they got a lot of talent on their roster. Like I said, one of their key wins was beating St. Francis Academy. I knew I almost forgot, y'all. St. Francis Academy. They had a key win a couple weeks ago against St. Francis Academy. That was a close game, as I predicted. So I have no problem with St. John Bosco being the number 1 high school team in the nation right now, at all. But now let's get into some national ranked games. Not national ranked, national games overall in high school. I'm gonna start from my area in the state of Alabama, 7A high school. Because there's, like I said, Alabama has a really good high school football team, especially at the 7A level. And like I said, around here where I live at in Phoenix City, Alabama. Starting with Auburn High School, they're 3-1. They're 2-0 in their region. They face Jag, who's 0-3, 0-2. I think Auburn is going to dominate this matchup. I got the Auburn winning this game easily. Like I said, one of their best wins was over Opelika. Their 100th meeting in that game. That was a really good game. I think they won it either towards the end of the 4th quarter or overtime, but it was a really, really good game. Auburn bouncing back 3-1. But I'm going with Auburn to win this game. They got a lot of talent on their roster. And like I said, I don't know too much about Jag, but being 0-3, 0-2 in your region, and you got Auburn, who's 3-1, 2-0, I don't like your odds in that favor. Next, I got Opelika, 3-1, 1-1 in region. They take on the Smith Station Panthers, 1-3, 0-2. Now, Smith Station, I feel bad for them because 3 weeks in a row they played 3 really good teams. That's how good 7A football is in the state of Alabama. You got Auburn, Opelika, Central, Thompson, Carver, Montgomery, Hyde, Truesville. It's so many good teams in the state of Alabama, 7A, and they played just about all of them for the most part. And they got blown out by Central, 50-something to 20, like 56-21, something like that. They got blown out by Carver Montgomery last week, and now they play Opelika, who's also really good this year. I think this game's gonna be a blowout. I hate to say it. I know Smith Station only win has come against Shaw, a high school that's across the border in Columbus, is at the borderline of Phoenix City. So they played them, but I ain't gonna lie, Shaw's not really that good. I'm not gonna lie. They're having a rough year. They just picked up their first win last week against another winless team in Hardaway. So, I just don't see. There's no way. I don't see Opelika losing this game to Smith Station. I think Opelika is just way too much talent for Smith Station. Like I said, like I said, they already have one win more than they did last year because they didn't win a game last year. So that's good for them, but I just don't see no way Smith Station wins this game against Opelika. Next up, another 7A matchup. Central Red Devils, right here in Phoenix City, Alabama, go on the road to face Enterprise. Central is 4-0 overall, 2-0 in region. Enterprise is 2-2 overall and 0-2 in region play. This matchup will be in Enterprise, Alabama, this Friday, 8 o'clock. I'm going Central mainly because, like I said, too much talent. Bobby Coleman is balling out. Their defense is balling out. Tristan Lyles, Tony Arnett, safety, Liberty commit, Aiden Lyles, their running back, especially the head coach, Patrick Nix, who's a phenomenal coach. Like I said, won a state championship a couple years, like about 2 years ago at Central. Now went to the state and went to state again last year and lost in a close game, 21-7 against Thompson. So I just think Central is way too talented. I don't see them really losing a game in their region at all. The only game that I could possibly see the Central is losing is IMG, and I'm definitely going to try to go to that game. That's September 26th, so in a couple weeks. That's going to be a really good game. I can't wait for that one. I cannot wait. I went to that game 2 years ago. It's gonna be a lot of talent on that field from Central and IMG on that field that we're gonna get to see. And I can't wait to see Bobby Coleman going against that defense. Jake the Snake, Correll, who's a 5-star defensive Oklahoma commit. See him going against Bobby Coleman, the starting quarterback for Central, a 4-star quarterback, 2027 class. See, like I said, going against that elite IMG defense. I can't wait to see what he's made of. But till then, we're going to say that for now. Right now, they got Enterprise. I'm going Central big. Central has been dominating pretty much all their opponents except for the first academy. They went to Orlando in Florida. But they got the close win, but they look really, really good. And I'm impressed with what Central has got going on. I'm impressed with Bobby Coleman. I'm impressed really with that whole roster, what Patrick Nix is made of. Because Central is one thing I come to understand, Central, while their players go off to like these schools at all levels, whether it's D2, JUCO, or really even Power 4 schools, while they succeed, like TJ Parker, AJ Harris, or Red Morgan, Cam Coleman, why they succeed, because Central's already a Division I school in itself, just like Thompson. They got good facilities, good school. They, like I said, their players have good grades. Like I said, scouts from all over always come to Central every year, scouting talent every year. Like Bobby Coleman had offers from Georgia and Kentucky and Auburn before he even took a varsity snap. That's how good he is, how much potential they saw in him. And I see it definitely in him. I definitely hope to have him on the podcast, hopefully during the offseason, head into his senior year. But I got Central winning this game big. I just don't see it being close at all. Like I said, Central's pretty much my number one ranked school in my rankings that I do almost every week. Central's number one. So I'm going big over Enterprise. Next up, this one game could be good on paper. Potentially, maybe, the Columbus Blue Devils at 3-0, 1-0 in region play, taking on the defending 2A state champions in the state of Georgia, the Carver Tigers, 4-0, 1-0 region play. Last week, I was surprised that Northside played Carver close for that most part of that game, all up until I think late third quarter, early fourth quarter. I think that's when Carver pulled away from Northside. So I give the Northside page. They shouldn't feel bad, hang their heads high. I know you don't want to celebrate a loss, but you fought hard against a very dominant, talented team. I don't care what nobody says, Carver is almost a reflection of Central. Literally, talent for talent. And some people say Carver can't hang with Central or other schools in Georgia. I'm not so sure about that, to be honest, because Carver got a lot of talent. From what the players I look up, versus Kingston Boogeyman Brown, Sebastian Hurd, who's only a freshman, Zach Watts, who's only a freshman, Tristan Givens, 4-star defensive end, Texas A&M commit. There's so much talent on the roster. Got another player committed to North Carolina, another player committed to Mississippi State. It's so much talent on that Carver roster. And I saw someone on social media that said it's Sebastian Hurd and Zach Watts, the best freshman duo in the state of Georgia, or is it nation? In the state of Georgia, I think you could argue that because he's balling out. He don't even look like a freshman. He's balling out. Zach Watts don't even look like a freshman with that elite speed. I'm not gonna lie, he kind of reminds me of DeAnthony Thomas a little bit. When I see him run, I'm like, I don't know, he just reminds me of DeAnthony Thomas for some reason. That's the first player that comes to my mind. Like, I don't know for some reason, but I think they're a reflection of Central. I'm going Carver over Columbus. I just think that it'll be just too disrespectful to pick Columbus. Even I know Jarvis Jones, this is his first year as head coach at Carver. If they was to play Central, I would go Central only because Patrick Nix, his experience as a head coach, that play calling. Even though Jarvis Jones got some experience, being a position coach but not a head coach, and you got a upperclassman quarterback in Bobby Coleman against a freshman in Sebastian Hurd. So if Central and Carver was to play each other, like let's say the next 2-3 years, and Sebastian's like a junior, then hey, we could debate then if they can play each other. I hope for some way I hope they play each other. That would be a game. I think everybody from Phoenix City and Columbus would go to Carver and Central if they played each other. Back in the day, they used to play each other. When I was in high school, like in 2011, 2015, I graduated in 2015. Carver and Central, I think they had a scrimmage. They played each other, I think, a couple times before. So, yeah, that would be a good game. But I'm going Carver over Columbus. Next up, Brookstone Cougars, 5-0. I think this will be their first game in region play. They play Stratford, who's 4-0 also. I'm going Brookstone. Like I said, this will probably be a good game. 2 undefeated schools. Potentially Brookstone going on the road, but I trust Broughton Branch. I trust his decision-making. He's one of the top 5 quarterbacks in this area, not just according to me. Double coverage had Broughton ranked as the 5th, but I got him at least 4th. I think he's better than Sebastian Hurd, especially being an upperclassman. But Broughton is a very good arm, very good athlete. I can't wait to meet him, have him on the podcast. He said he's definitely down to do it, so I definitely will try during the offseason. But right now, of course, he's focused in school, football. And like I said, I just trust Brookstone. Coach Ian Headley, who's a first-year head coach at Brookstone, he's doing an awesome job at that school. I went to their football media day, and I think he's backing up every word he says that he's establishing to those players. And it looks like Brookstone, I don't want to jinx them. I know they're taking it one game at a time. Just like I told Broughton, take it one game at a time. Go 1-0 every week. He said the same thing. Go 1-0 every week. I think they can win a state championship. And by far, I think they're the best team in GIAA play by far. Especially with Broughton Branch at quarterback. And he's only a junior, so he's going to be back again next year. That's why I can't wait to see that. How much better he's going to continue to get. Next up also, now this is my game of the week. This is Max Press game of the week also. Number 8, Mater DEI, 2-1, coming off a loss. Taking on number 2 ranked Bishop Gorman, who's 4-0. These two are 2 powerhouse schools. This is going to be a great game. Now, I said Mater DEI can bounce back. Last year, Mater DEI got the best of Bishop Gorman. They pretty much dominated him. But with quarterback Micah Eugenio and wide receiver Zyron Minor, that duo, I seen them ball out during OT7 playoffs. Them two are legit, or like arguably one of the best wide receiver quarterback duos in the nation. Micah Eugenio is a Hawaii commit. He's committed to the University of Hawaii, the Rainbow Warriors in the Mountain West Conference. Zyron Minor is only a sophomore. He was a freshman last year. I seen him ball out all of OT7. He balled out so much that Miami offered him as soon as the playoffs was over. And I think he's going to only pick up more offers as the season go on, and when the season ends, he's going to have a lot more offers. I won't be surprised if he ends up a 4-star receiver. And I just think also with Jet Washington, Kobe Bryant's nephew, who's a big safety. He's 6'4", he's probably 6'5", but he's at least 6'4". He's committed to Oregon. Very big. Seen him in videos. I think he's very big safety, very physical. I just think Bishop Gorman this is their year. I think they're going to get Mater DEI. I just think Mater DEI just taking opponents lightly. They're not really keeping their feet on the gas pedal. I think Bishop Gorman is motivated. They're hungry. They're going to be at home. It's going to be a close game. So I'm going Bishop Gorman over Mater DEI, especially with Malachi Eugenio and Zion Minor. I think Zion Minor is going to have a great game. I can see a way he catches a game-winning touchdown, have over 100 yards, improves while he's one of the best upcoming young receivers in the nation. I think it's going to be a great game, but I'm going Bishop Gorman all the way in this one. But, in this episode, that's what I want to talk about, as far as high school, national news going on, from Dia Bell, injury, these games, from the game of the week, Mater DEI and Bishop Gorman. There's going to be a lot of great high school football going on this week. Not just where I live at here in Alabama, but nationally across the country. But I definitely appreciate you always tuning in. Please click that subscribe button, get us 300 subscribers. Turn on post notifications. Stay tuned. Like I said, I'll catch y'all from another episode very, very soon because certain team won last night on Monday Night Football, but I'm not gonna say who. I'm gonna let you figure that out. You might see that in the next episode. Who won? I'm just saying, But I appreciate you tuning in. This has been your favorite host, Cameron Lindsay, of your favorite upcoming sports podcast. Follow me on all social medias regarding Cameron Sports Podcast on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. But I'll catch y'all next time. Y'all take care.